All right, guys, I'm super pumped to be able to go pick up my R34 from the Port of Baltimore. I figured I want to make a video about it just to kind of go in depth to the specifics about importing a car here from Japan to America. Again, I am not a licensed broker, but what I can do is at least give you guys some specifics to help import cars yourself without having to pay some of the outrageous fees and deal with shady importers. Again, I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight on the process and really the fees. How much does it cost to get my car from Japan to America? Because obviously you're going to need a vehicle. I've got my rollback here. You can use a truck and trailer. We're going to be going through the Port of Baltimore to be able to do this. All right, so we finally got logged in for an escort. They didn't have anybody standing by, so we're, I think, number one in line. Again, they have escorts at every port. I just used Google and I found these people. I've been using them for a couple of years, and not only are they awesome because they get me in, they out, they have people that are really knowledgeable to be able to get me to the right place. I know where I'm going, but at least they have people that, you know their stuff, which is kind of super. One of the things, especially if you're waiting for an escort, you always kind of want to have snacks. That way, if you're hanging out, not all the sheds are near places, so sometimes bring some stuff. You could be waiting for a while, so phone charger, anything like that. You want to be able to make sure you get, as well, since you're going to the port, you want to have a high visibility vest. Some escorts provide them for you, some don't. They're really easy. You can get them online. Other things I like to bring, since we've got a little bit of time here, I always try to bring my tire inflator. A nice thing about that with it being portable, just in case had a slow leak coming on off the boat, I can make sure all my tires are inflated. To be able to make sure it's easier to get on the back of the rollback. Also, jump box. Sometimes that battery died on the 1 to 4 month journey that it had from its original destination, and it doesn't want to crank over.
Hey, 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 I hear it calling for me.
Shout out to Dartrans here in Baltimore, Maryland. I have never once had any sort of a hiccup from filing the paperwork through them to getting my Maryland titles here in America based on the paperwork that they give me and how the paperwork is filled out. Excellent communication, fantastic team over there. If you are picking up at Baltimore, I highly suggest using them. They may be able to work at other ports as well. Again, I just very, very much love working with an easy to work with team. And I will pay that little bit extra for higher quality service. Also, we're not going to talk about the fees that my dealer charged me. Again, shipping and everything is so up and down. It does depend on weight. It does depend on vehicle size, vehicle type, your port of origin in Japan, your destination here in the States. So really, it can vary on different things. So it's not fair to add shipping into this. So just know that vehicle price plus shipping are going to be two factors I'm not going to be talking about here. Let's go over the wonderful paperwork that you need to do to be able to make sure your vehicle is legally imported into the United States. Again, I have my annual bond through a broker here in Baltimore, so I was able to do everything in my name. This process is using legitimate exporters and dealers in Japan to receive my vehicles from, so that's the process I'm going to be going over. If you guys use other individuals or other services to be able to get your vehicles in, or if you have a different style company to be able to bring vehicles in, I can't speak to that. However, this is a way that you can do this as an individual to be able to make sure that it's done legally and properly, so there's the least amount of issues from the day you send the money to be able to buy your vehicle till the day that you get the American title for your state here in America. Remember, Fed legal, not just state titled like some of the gray market vehicles out there. So, you just sent your thousands of monies over to a dealer in Japan to be able to get your dream vehicle. Awesome. Now, before that vehicle even leaves Japan, they need to be able to send you documents immediately once it gets to the port. The documents that you're going to be looking for, number one is an invoice. That's going to be something that you wanted the original copy of, that's going to be stamped from the exporter to be able to make sure that you have the original and not a copy. You're going to need that later on. The second is either a copy of or the original bill of lading. This is what they use to be able to get the vehicle on the ship. If the original bill of lading is not signed and surrendered before the vehicle leaves the port, and the ISF form is not submitted, Customs and Border Patrol is cracking down hard. So hard that they're giving fines up to $5,000 per late submission. So if you've got 3 or 4 vehicles that you're trying to ship over all at once, you're looking at 20 large just in fines because you were either late to the party in filing or that stuff didn't get filed altogether. Going to cause major headaches on not just you, but your wallet. So again, guys, original bill of lading, signed and surrendered, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours, and the ISF form submitted as well before the vehicle leaves Japan. So you've got your invoice, you got your original bill of lading, you're going to be able to send the ISF form to your broker, and then they'll submit that. They did for me. That's part of the services that I pay for. You're also going to get 2 export certificates. One of them is the original export certificate, also the Japanese title, in Japanese with all the vehicle information, just like we have titles here in America. You know, you can be able to make sure everything lines up based on your invoice and your bill of lading. And then you're also, based on the dealers that I deal with, are going to get a translated into English export certificate. It's going to be a mirror copy of that original title, just everything is going to be into English. You're going to need both those items to submit, at least here in Maryland, to the DMV in order to process it to be able to get the actual American title. So again, do not lose those forms. One quick tip is once I get everything, I scan everything into my computer, and I have a file for each vehicle that comes in, and then I send that file straight to my broker and then handle everything there. You're going to get a arrival notice. So this comes from the shipper. In my case, it was Norton Lilly. They sent me the arrival notice to let me know that everything was in order for it to come to America. They said the OBL was obviously submitted, so that was a positive thing. And we could start talking about fees. So right just there, arrival notice processing fee, $50. And then there was a fee, I think, on top of that because I used credit card and not e-check. So I think it was like closer to like 70 bucks. So right there, we've got a $70 processing fee. Before all this, I paid just under $600 for my annual bond. That allows me to import as many cars as I want in 12 months. So it's an annual renewal. So got all that kind of stuff. Now the vehicle's here. We paid our notice. We go and get our escort. We got a receipt here from the escort service. We used A1 Escorts here in Baltimore. If you've got a TWIC card from the Department of Transportation, that's fine too. I don't have a TWIC card, so I had to use this. They charged me a $50 escort fee because we were only there for an hour, which, again, they charge by the hour there in 15-minute increments, so you want to be able to make sure. So out of that $50 fee there. But the awesome thing about them is they gave me what's called a delivery notice. Now we have our arrival notice and our delivery notice. Delivery notice is what is needed to be submitted to the shed 12 here in Port of Baltimore in order for them to release the car. Now, there are customs and duties and stuff like that. We'll get into that in a second, but in order to get my delivery advice, my delivery notice stamped, I had to do port release fees. Port release fees on this vehicle, I think I picked it up within 48 hours of getting the notice that it had landed. They were like 90 bucks. So add that fee in there just to be able to make sure this could get stamped so they could be able to allow me to pick up my vehicle. Okay, now we're going to go over the paperwork that the broker sends you. Once you pay your invoice, we'll go over the invoice totals as well and itemize everything so you can see what realistically you could be looking to pay. Also, you want to be able to make sure all your paperwork is in line that you receive, because these are the documents you're going to have to take to the DMV, at least here in Maryland. Your state may differ. However, for the fact these are all federally legal forms, so they're probably going to require all of them. First thing we're going to talk about is the 7501, the entry summary from U.S. Customs and Border Protection. This is a breakdown of the duties and all your vehicle information on here, as well as all the wonderful fees that the Customs and Border Protection people charge you. So you're looking at 2.5% of your invoice. That's just the regular duty rate for passenger vehicle that we received. That may go up, that may go down. I will tell you right now, if you import, like let's say a mini truck, those little mini trucks don't have a 2.5% duty. They have a 25% duty tax on it. That's correct. So if you go and buy a $10,000 Toyota Hilux over there, expect to pay just $2,500, and that's just in duty. So make sure that when you're buying vehicles over there, you do the research on what the duty rate is for the vehicle you're looking to buy, because you could get some sticker shock. So we've got our duty tax at 2.5%. We've got code 499 merchandise processing fee, or also known as MPF. That's at 0.3464%. And then we also have the harbor maintenance fee, code 501, at 0.125%. So here, everything adding up, we're not going to be too crazy. We're under $200 for this. Again, I got a really good deal on my Skyline, so everything is lower. So this is all based off of the invoice price that was on that group of forms that was shipped to you from the exporter in Japan. So whatever that invoice says is exactly what all these duties are going to be based off of. So 7501 in hand. Next is your 3461 and your cargo release. It's going to look like this. It's also going to say entry immediate delivery up top. It's a United States Customs and Border Protection form, and then your cargo release as well. Back in 2022, I think it was, somewhere around there, they were manually stamping these forms, and they would the DMV and the brokers wanted to see a red stamp or a blue stamp, a color stamp on these forms, so they weren't easy to be photocopied and doctored and all that kind of stuff. Right around there, they changed. You'll see it on the bottom, signed for electronic delivery and release. They have the date on there, and they also have the digital signature of the individual who did that. So that's what it's changed for. So if you don't have a physical stamp on your documents, that's why, and that's also why you would have seen it before. So all the information on there is, again, stuff with bill of lading, where you're going to find it, where it's going to, your personal information. Very important to have, because you do need to turn that in when you go to title. Next is your HS7, your declaration. This has to be signed at the bottom. All your information is going to be at the bottom. All the vehicle information is going to be up top. Need to make sure everything matches. If you have a good broker, they'll make sure everything is taken care of. And then one thing with our vehicles is you want block number 1 checked off. That shows that it is 25 years or older and is exempt from the safety and the Safety and Theft Protection Standards Act that was that's here in America. So HS7, making sure that correct box is checked, signing that bad boy. Next is going to be your EPA release, or EPA form 3520-1. With this being a 25-year and older vehicle, again, you want to be able to make sure that code E at the bottom of page number 1 is checked to be able to say that it is exempt from all emission standards here in America. All your information is going to be on that one as well. Again, if you've got a good broker, they'll be able to take care of all this. So, we've gone over some of the fees already. Let's go over the last bit of fees on the import side of things. So I've got my numbers up right here. On my end, now, your fees may differ depending on your broker. This is just what I paid for full transparency. I have a Customs and Border Protection security maintenance fee of $65. I have the ISF handling fee, which we talked about earlier, $65 on my end. There are some companies that do it as low as $25 on the internet. So $65 CBP security fee, $65 ISF filing fee, and then we have just under $200 for we talked about the customs, the 7501. We also have arranging customs entry, so everything that all the paperwork filing associated with that. That was $190 through them. And then PGA reporting, dealing with the FDA, dealing with the EPA, and dealing with the DOT, getting those forms filed, submitted, and call correspondence handled. That cost me $120. So just over $600 was what my invoice was with my broker. So all in all, if this was the only vehicle that I shipped, you're looking at the $575, the $70 for the arrival notice, the $90 for the stamping of the item, the $602 here. Math is a little off, but I mean you're looking at like $1,400, give or take. So $1,400 on top of your shipping and what you bought the vehicle for. And then here in Maryland, if the vehicle is over $500 of price, they're going to charge you 6% sales tax, and then a flat fee if you are filing just for a title only. That's not for. I just got for my title fees. I didn't get my tag stuff. So the Skyline, I believe, was like $400. So based on that, you're looking at I paid $1,800 on top of my shipping and my vehicle price in order to make this stuff happen. So everybody's going to be different. I know this was really long and really drawn out, and if it was boring, I apologize, but using this process, I have had zero issues getting my stuff titled here in America. So based on what I said there, guys, if you have any questions, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, share, tell your baby mama, tell your friends. I just want to be able to help guys try to do things better. And if you have any other stuff you guys want to see, let me know. Until then, see you on the next video.